Hey, Facebook fans, CBS This Morning fans. It is Monday, and of course, it is time for a little behind the scenes of our show, our staff. Every Monday, what we do is we spend a little time with the folks that work 24/7 to bring you CBS This Morning. We spend a lot of time with our anchors on the air. This is an opportunity for you to meet some of the folks who work really, really hard to put our broadcast to air. And I'm back because I've been gone for a couple of days. In fact, everyone's been gone for a couple of days. Thank you, Jared. Good to see you. There's Jared, one of our camera operators in the studio. So today, we're going to spend a little time with our What to Watch and our Talk of the Table producer, Steph Lorenzo. She sits right over here. This is the CBS This Morning newsroom, an active newsroom, 24 hours, 6 days a week, more or less, although there are people here 7 days a week, but it's active, very active, with a full staff and crew 6 days a week. This is where all of the producers and the journalists sit. You can also see the CBS and anchor desk in the back there. But let's meet Steph. What's up?
Hey,
What's
morning,
going on?
how's
How are you? This is Steph Lorenzo. Happy Monday. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
So Steph produces, she's a producer at CBS This Morning, but she's primarily, at least as far as my life is concerned, responsible for putting together our What to Watch segment and the Talk of the Table, which is when the anchors all sit around and talk about some things that they found interesting. And there's actually a lot of producing that goes into it. Obviously there's a script, but also graphics and elements, and Steph is the one who's responsible for getting all that done. And you write part of the script.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do, and like I work with the writers. We like to tweak the copy just to make sure that our viewers understand everything we're saying, because as we'll see today, some of these stories can get really complicated in the case of our first story. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get into it.
Actually, you're watching a competition.
Oh. gotta keep an eye on the competition.
I know. So this is probably a little dirty secret of the news business, but we all watch. You can see across the newsroom there are screens tuned in to every single broadcast. So that is CBS News there. That is NBC. That is ABC. There's MSNBC. That one is turned off for some reason. That's Spectrum News, News Channel 1, CNN, CBSN. And at the very end, usually we watch a little Bloomberg. So it's not uncommon to see across the screen here. You see, in fact, across the newsroom, people are watching all different broadcasts just to know what everybody else is up to. There's Fox News is on right here. So we really do watch a little bit of everything. So what's going on today?
Yeah, so...
Well, hold on. Before we even do it,
Yeah.
forget the business for a second.
Yeah.
So how did you get started in journalism?
Oh, so I was actually a business major when I was in college. I did not expect to make the jump into journalism, but my senior year of college, I took a class that was writing for television and radio news with a former producer with CBS. And she told me that I would never get a job in journalism because my major was business, and I set out to prove her wrong. I worked really hard in her class. I impressed her for some reason, I guess, and she wrote me a recommendation letter to come get an internship here at CBS, and I haven't left since. So
Wow.
I've been here for, I guess, like 4.5 years now, including my internship.
I didn't know that background.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Where'd you go to undergrad?
I went to Fordham University.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And then you went to grad school?
I didn't.
You
no.
did not?
So straight out of college, I did the news associate program here, which is really great. So started with CTM, haven't left CTM since, did a stint in the hard news, came to the control room, and now I'm here.
Wow, it feels like I've been here 5 years, and I met you maybe about a year after I started.
Yeah.
And you were a news associate.
I met you my first week.
Really?
Yeah, here. I remember that. We all went out to karaoke together. And we were like hanging out at karaoke, and that was like my first memory of like a CBS outing, which is awesome.
So, dirty secret, Facebook fans, I am a huge karaoke fan. And generally when, I think once or twice a year, we organize a big karaoke. And we do it with, we invite people from across the news division. So people from CTM, people from the CBS Evening News, 48 Hours. There've even been, a couple of 60 Minutes folks spotted at the karaoke's, CBSN obviously, so it's fun. All right, so today, Steph, what do we got for What to Watch? I'm gonna just give us the broad strokes so we don't bore everybody and so we don't give everything away.
Absolutely. So we have 3 stories right now because we want to give a huge chunk of our time to Simone Biles, who made incredible moves over the weekend. So we're going to start with the public charge rule. So the Trump administration today is rolling out this rule that could make it harder for some low-income immigrants to get green cards, to get temporary visas, and that's going to be announced today. They're going to start enforcing that soon. And so what a public charge is that these are immigrants who are largely dependent on the government for support. So immigrants who are dependent on welfare programs like SNAP assistance, government housing. And so this new regulation will require caseworkers to look at how much these green card applicants are dependent on these programs and take that into account when deciding should we give this person a green card or a temporary visa.
Okay, right.
And so, this was enacted during the Clinton era. And this is sort of an extension of that program.
Right. What's really interesting is this will also consider how well applicants speak, read, and write English. And
right.
The question, of course, becomes, is this going to be challenged in court?
Yes, absolutely.
So
and we believe that the Trump administration is sort of going to angle this new rule as helping immigrants be more self-sufficient and like just create like a more self-sufficient community instead of having to rely on the government for assistance.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of discussion around this, I think, in the days ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So this Newark bottled water story is interesting because
Yes.
We all remember, and many, if you are living in Flint, Michigan, you are still living with this threat of water that is not safe to drink.
Yes.
And Newark is giving out these bottles of water after, in the past, giving out filters, which apparently are not working very well.
Right, exactly. And so last Friday, the EPA sent local officials a scathing letter basically saying, these water filters aren't working. We've seen 2 cases of houses with really high levels of lead in their water, and so they want them to sort of like do better and give these bottles of water to residents.
I mean, we'll also, I think what we'll do is we'll spend a little bit of time reminding the viewers how many people got sick and how many people died as a result of the Flint water crisis. I think it'll be a good way to just keep this in the spotlight, because you don't want to see what happened in Flint happen in Newark, and yet we feel as if we're on the verge of seeing something similar.
Right, and officials have long denied that there was an actual problem with lead in the drinking water in Newark, so hopefully they actually do something.
Yeah. All right, so Simone, I love this story. Simone Biles, she's so amazing, and I want. So we got to have a good video, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we have video of 2 of the historic moments. One from yesterday where she did that triple-double. She was the first woman to land a clean triple-double in competition. And then on Friday, she did a double back tuck with 2 twists. So I know that sounds like a little, you can't really imagine it.
It's hard to imagine what that is.
But once you see the video, it's amazing.
That's so cool.
I'm not going to show it to you now.
No, don't show it, because we want you guys to watch the show. We
have
to
watch.
Starting to air in exactly like 8 minutes. The one question that I have about Simone Biles, I mean, she's still fairly young, so she's got like a long road ahead where she's going to continue to dominate the sport.
Right, and she's even at the age of, I believe she's in her early 20s, she's already the most decorated female gymnast.
Wow.
So,
can't wait for 2020, Tokyo.
I know. So they're going to announce that, the team for 2020 in late September, and she's likely to have one of those slots.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Thank you, Steph.
Yeah, thank you.
So let you come in at what time?
I come in at midnight, and I leave at 10. So call me, beat me, I'll be up early in the morning.
I don't know if this What to Watch will be able to be shared on social media, because are we using some sports?
We are using some sports, but I think usually Rights and Clearances gives us 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go, Suzanne. Suzanne, who's our camera person today, is also posting our video elements onto social media. So Suzanne, don't forget to put this out there for us and give us a little shout out. Thank you very much, Steph. Thank you very much for spending some time with us. Did we get any cool questions?
Questions?
Yeah, we get a lot of hellos. I know that. Steph, you are from Guam.
I lived on Guam for a year.
Yeah, because of some military. Right? What is the connection?
No, so my dad actually got a job on Guam and with a phone company. And they decided to just move the entire family there. It was one of the best years of my life.
I know,
gorgeous over there.
I know, because I remember I was there on assignment for something, and then texted me that this is like your hometown and you love it and it was the best time of your life.
Gorgeous.
You went to high school
Guam.
there.
I did. I spent my senior year of high school on Guam. Hello to everyone on Guam.
We do get people. That's why I thought of that, because people sometimes say hello from Guam.
Yeah, no, Guam is awesome. Miss it.
Have you been back? Have you ever been back?
No, I haven't been back in a long time. It's a long flight. It's, close to a day flight.
Right, right.
I know. Oh.
So where are you originally from in the U.S.?
So I was born in California.
Nice.
And then I moved to the Philippines when I was younger, and I grew up there basically.
Okay.
And then I did my senior year of high school in Guam before coming to New York for Fordham.
Wow. Which coast is the best coast?
Ooh, that's tough. My mom is in California right now, so I love California. The weather cannot be beat.
Yes.
But this is where broadcasting is at.
That's right.
So that's why we're here.
That's right, we're here. So no questions?
We have a question of one, how do you choose your stories?
Okay.
And how your weekend was.
So there's a comment. So how we choose our stories is there are a lot of producers that work on What to Watch and Talk at the Table. And when Steph goes home, there's another group of producers that comes in. And all throughout the course of the day, they're looking at news stories. They're looking at interesting stories that pop up on the internet, pop up in other news broadcasts. But what we're trying to do is find something that not everybody is doing. So actually what we hope is that when you see what we're talking about and What to Watch, it's not something that you can see necessarily on another broadcast. So that's what we intend to do. And then we all go back and forth. There's a lot of emails flying back and forth. We like this one. What's the merit of this one versus another one? And by the time Steph comes in, there's a kind of an idea of what we might want to do. But then what happens?
Yeah, but then I come in at midnight and then I spend like 3 hours just scouring the stories for newsy. It's scouring the internet for newsy and buzzing stories, and then I bring those to a senior producer, including the pitches that happen earlier in the day, and then we discuss and see what feels right for Vlad to talk about and something that's like right up his alley.
Yeah.
And then we decide what goes in the story or in the segment, and then I work with writers to make sure things are good.
Yeah.
For our viewers.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's actually kind of I think it's interesting. People may not realize how much of a process it is, and it starts right after Steph leaves, essentially. Because as soon as we're done with What to Watch, we already start thinking what's buzzing beyond what we just talked about and what will be talked about the next day. So that's how we sort of come up with it. Hope that answers the question. Anything else?
How was your weekend,
My
Vlad?
weekend was good. I was in Miami for a journalist convention, and that's good. We at CBS spend a lot of time going to these conventions and meeting and mentoring young journalists, and so it's an important facet of what we do here at the network. And so we've got another one coming up, which is the National Hispanic Journalists Association, and so a bunch of us will be at that too. But it was a good weekend. Miami, I mean, the weather is so great and the beach is amazing, even though we were working most of the time, but it was a lot of fun. If you have any more questions, keep sending them to us. We will, myself and Suzanne will be looking throughout the course of the day. Keep it clean. I know everybody's got real strong opinions, and I get it. It's the news. Everybody has an opinion. But try to keep it clean, and I'll try to answer your questions throughout the course of the day. I'm going to sign off now because our show's about to start. There's channel 2 right there, CBS. It's about to start in 2 minutes, and I got to get dressed and get made up because I probably look horrific to all of our viewers out there without any makeup on. So we'll see you in 7. What time are we hitting today? 7:37?
Around 7:47 usually.
Oh, 7:47. 7:47. But do we have a tease?
You got a tease at 7:42, and you'll be teasing Simone Biles.
All right.
Nice.
See you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Suzanne. See you next time. Friday. We'll talk to the anchors.